Okay, hi folks, thanks for streaming. This ninth episode of Yumio to Ohanashi features the author of Keeper Trilogy and preparing her next series, Poison and Opium in 2025, Alyssa Lauseng from Michigan. Thanks for joining us here, Alyssa. So can you briefly introduce yourself?
Thanks for having me on again, Yumio.
Yes, thank you.
Like you said, my name's Alyssa Lauseng. I'm from Michigan. I live in the Upper Peninsula, so it is very cold usually this time
Very
of
cool.
year.
Very cool.
And I lived in Florida for a couple of years, but other than that, I've been here basically my entire life.
I see. So you were born in Michigan, or?
Yep.
So it's like a hometown for you.
Yeah, very much. I live about 20 minutes away from my hometown on a former military base, actually.
Military base. That's interesting. Okay, so the in our initial message, you mentioned that you were kind of into Jujutsu Kaisen right now, and I was just wondering why Jujutsu Kaisen entice Americans so much. Why do you think is that?
What? I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Why do you think Jujutsu Kaisen entices Americans so much?
Good question. I think it might be because of all the big overpowered moves and all that, like just the raw power, the bloodiness of it. That's very very popular usually with Americans in anime in general.
Yes, because the many fantasy writers seems like pretty much in love with Jujutsu Kaisen, but the middle-aged Osan like me, yes, it's very enjoyable series, but I feel like I've seen this before. That's why I just kind of wonder why.
Yeah, I think it's that idea of like using this like energy that you kind of have within you to take out ghosts and monsters that are just ridiculously overpowered.
Pretty much applies to the Japanese kind of a mystery of a curse or magic. And who is your favorite character right now?
Gojo.
Everybody's going to say Gojo. Okay, so the first of all, can you share your latest accomplishment or your temporary goal that you would like to reach?
I actually finished the first draft. Well, not the first draft, but I sent the first book of my new series off to beta readers at the end of August, beginning September, something like that. So I'm really excited to hear feedback about that. And right now I'm working on book 2 of that.
Beta readers are always helpful. And how many beta readers do you have?
4.
I see.
4, yeah.
I see. So you're waiting for the feedback and try to revise. Can you tell me about your work more?
About my what? I'm sorry.
Can you tell me about your work, your book more, like a story or character?
Yeah, it actually it's kind of like a prequel to the Keeper trilogy. I follow main character Kulako from the Keeper trilogy. This time we're following his older brother Daisuke.
Daisuke
is a spy in the Jihatan Empire, and we're following him and his partner Obito through their journeys together, from when they first meet each other, how they get into the positions that we see them in during the Keeper trilogy, and how they're responsible for certain things that happen in the Keeper trilogy.
Is this the setting is like a future or the past or the modern?
It's kind of like the past, kind of like I say it's very loosely based off of like Edo-period Japan / Bakumatsu.
I see. So do you incorporate those machineries or machines or mechas or what you call it, like a fan of?
I don't have that many of those in my writing. It's just not something I really care to write about, I guess. Like it even in stories I've written before, it's just very absent.
I see. And when is your best time to write?
Usually during the morning, like mid-morning.
Yeah, same as me.
Sometimes early afternoon. If I'm lucky enough to get some writing done at night, that's when it goes the best. But having 2 little ones around, that's not usually the case.
And how do you brainstorm when composing new scenes, dialogues, characters, conflicts, and so
on? Like if I'm writing a fight scene, a lot of the times, like I'm a very visual person, so I have to picture it in my head, and sometimes I'll actually get up and act it out to make sure the movements I'm trying to describe make sense. I've recruited my husband before in helping me write fight scenes. Be like, okay, just stand here and see if this works.
He needs to act for you.
He's a pretty good sport about it most of the time.
I see. So are you a pantser, plotter, or prancer?
Lancer, I like to call myself. I'll have like the overarching vision.
Overarching
Like
vision.
I kind of know beginning, some of the middle, some of the end, and then it's just kind of
Hmm.
up to how those all come together.
I see, Prancer. And that next question is kind of connected to the previous one. When composing an action sequence, do you first image it in your brain to visualize or toss words randomly on a blank page and start writing? Or do you have your own way?
No, I like to kind of picture it first,
Mhm.
and then, like I said, I might act it out a little
Mhm.
bit just to make sure it actually does make sense.
Mhm.
I have a few years of martial arts training under my belt,
Oh,
so
let's
a
see.
lot of times I go by what I know from that, and I try to see if I can apply it to the
Hmm.
situation I'm trying to describe or the scene that's happening. And sometimes I
I
luck out and I have
see.
quite a bit to draw on, and other times it's a little more by the wayside.
I see. So the your battle scenes are kind of detailed.
But I try for them to be.
Yes,
Hopefully, I get there.
that's the advantage of novel writing because screenwriting is totally different. I cannot write the detailed in screenwriting, so that's why I'm kind of
That'd
having trouble with detailed depictions. Actually,
be really different in screenwriting.
I see. And do you prefer composing a new story once your ongoing WIP work in progress is pretty much done, or do you stick to a heavy revision?
I try to stick to one project at a time
Mm,
because I tend to get really stressed out if I bounce
mm,
between projects. But when I was finishing up the Keeper trilogy, I knew immediately after I was going to have to start drafting Poison and Opium. And
I
that's
see.
actually, I think, the first time that's happened to me.
Oh, I see. And let's say once you finish your story, but you want to rewrite the story, how long do you think it's good to take a rest for that?
I try to make myself take like a week or two between ideas
I
just to
see, I
let the
see.
one settle and
I
then either
see.
go back into that or start something new,
Yes,
just to
because
reset my brain a bit.
yes, because Stephen King mentioned in his books that he's gonna take like 6 or 8 weeks away from the completed work. So, okay. So, any favorite Japanese anime or manga?
Um, like we talked about the other day, I
Mhm.
found Noragami last year and fell in love with
Noragami.
it
Mhm.
immediately.
Mm-mm.
Kind of the same thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. I haven't finished either series yet, but or caught up with either of them.
And
Um,
how about what was the first Japanese anime or manga you encountered and you were so enticed?
Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni
I
Kenshin. Ah,
read
ah, ah.
that story when I was in middle school. I saw the
Ah.
anime when I was a little bit younger because it was on TV, and I just absolutely fell in love with the story.
And I think the 2023 version of Rurouni Kenshin is doing pretty well. I kind of enjoy this modern version compared
Yeah,
to the other
I
ones.
want to watch it so bad. I just haven't gotten a chance yet.
It's very fun. It's pretty updated. And okay, this question is really tricky, but who's your anime character crush on you that you want to forget your lover or husband?
I would leave my
So,
husband for Yato from Noragami.
Noragami, I see.
That's my guy.
Mm, the main character?
Yeah.
When did you discover Noragami? I think that series was like 6 or 7 years ago, I think.
Yeah, like it's pretty old by entertainment standards by now. I think last summer I started
Mhm.
watching it.
Uh-huh. So you're kind of enticed by those Japanese ghosts or yokai.
Yeah, like the lore that goes into it is it's so interesting to me, and it actually gave me a few ideas for the book I'm writing right now.
Mm.
So
Yes, I was wondering your character features those kind of Japanese names or the locations. So how do you get those ideas from?
I try to take what I've read in manga or
Mhm,
seen in anime.
mhm,
Uh, I'll do my best to do some research about it and hopefully convey it respectfully and as accurately as I can, or to the uh, nature of the book
mhm,
itself. But
mhm, mhm,
yeah, a lot of that just comes from being an
mhm.
anime nerd during middle school.
Middle school, I see. So you go to Wikipedia a lot when researching
Yeah,
about Japan. Yes, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, or like even sometimes like I'll just find like I found an article about life in the Edo period. It's not from
Mhm.
Wikipedia. It's from like this website called factsanddetails.com. So I'm not sure exactly how
Oh,
accurate it is. But
mm-hmm. Yes,
Wikipedia was definitely my source a lot in the beginning.
Edo-period still kind of the era that we have lots of those historical documents are left. So those kind of things are, I think, pretty accurate compared to Muromachi or those further ones. I see. So who are your mentors that you think you learned a lot from?
I definitely have learned, and still do learn a lot from my martial arts instructors. Taught me a lot about patience, persistence, and all those kinds of really useful things to kind of keep me focused and stuff like that, which apparently didn't work that well just now. But
how many years you've been doing martial arts?
I've also learned a lot from Jess Moon at Shadow Square Publishing. She's taught me a lot through our last few years of getting to know each other and working together. And yeah, that's just a wonderful relationship in general.
I see. So did she find you first or you find her first?
No, I found her. I stalked her on Twitter.
Erika says the same thing. She said she stalked her.
That's like the Shadow Spark story. We all stalk Jess at some point.
I see. That is very interesting. Okay, so Alyssa, we are kind of running out of time. So let's wrap up. So any message to those watching this interview?
Oh boy. Just keep at it. Don't give up. All that other good stuff. Do no harm. But don't be a pushover either.
Yes, we have to maintain those balance of don't push too much, but don't stay away too much, I think.
Exactly.
Yes, balancing is always important. And I think the other writers, I think Eric says the same thing. So I'm pretty surprised that you folks coming up with very creative and positive ideas. And that's why I love listening to you guys. So, okay, so the finally last question is what is the most encouraging phrase that you recite when you want to pump up your motivation or crawl out from rock bottom?
It's actually a phrase that Jess used when she was doing my edits for Keeper of the Fallen, which was my first book. It was trust yourself, trust the process, relax, basically.
Relax, yes, relax. We need to relax. Without relax, we cannot write anything, actually.
No, for real. Really hard to write when you're stressed out.
Yes. Okay, so thank you very much, Alyssa. Her work is called Keeper Trilogy. So folks, if you're interested in Alyssa, please pick her work and follow her account since she often pitches interesting topics for writers. Truly appreciate your participation in this segment with Alyssa. Wish you a great success and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you so much again. Thank you for having me on. It was so great to talk to you.
Thank you.